Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I go by Tyhijah, whatever you want to say. And I wanted to talk about my experience growing up an only child, because I seem to realize that growing up an only child has actually impacted me in the way that I see things and the way that I perceive things. So I want to talk about it. Okay, so I want to start this video off by saying that I do have a half brother, which I say brother, but we did not grow up together. He has a different mom, I have a different mom. So therefore, I was with my mom most of the time, just me, my mom, and my dad. But just me, my mom, and he was with his family, okay? So majority of the time, I did grow up as an only child. My mom she took me here to Canada when I was 12. So it's just been me and her, you know? So with that being said, I do want to start off with kind of one that obviously is not going to match the stereotype for everyone, but it does fit for me, and it's that only children are spoiled. And when I say spoiled, I mean that anything I asked my parents for, it's not like that I got in that moment, but eventually I got it. Like anything I wanted, I essentially got from my mom and I got from my dad. I'm 21 and it still applies to this day. If I ask my mom for something, it could be something outrageous. I know she'll get it for me. It might not be now, it might not be tomorrow, but from a year from now, I know she'll get it for me. And same with my dad, like he loves me to death. So I know that I'll get it, you know? So my second point is that we tend to avoid conflict. We didn't grow up with siblings to torment or us being tormented by siblings, so I feel like we try to naturally reverse from any type of conflict, especially me. Like I try not to get I don't like conflict. Like it doesn't matter if it's with family, with friends. I don't like any type of conflict. Like it just fucks up my space, my headspace, my vibe. So I don't like that at all. And I feel like I noticed that with a lot of only children, we just try to avoid conflict. We just like our peace. So we just like our peace. That's it. Okay? So this one really applied to me, especially growing up. We really like to hang out with big families. When I was younger and all my friends had like 2 or 3 brothers and sisters each, I would like to go to their houses. And the reason that we like to hang out with big families is because we like to see the dynamics and like the inner workings of, you know, a bigger family. You know, when it's just you and your mom and your dad, it's kind of boring, you know? So when you go to a house and it's like 2 siblings or 3 siblings and it's just a big family, you just get amazed, you get wild. You're like, oh wow, like this is how it works, or this is how life would have been if I had, you know, another siblings. So yeah, so I think a lot of us like to we like to hang out with bigger families. This one, again, this is all relating to my life, but I know a lot of you guys who are watching her only siblings can relate. We tend to get closer to our friends. Like we tend to want closer friendships. Like we don't want the normal acquaintance relationships. No, we want like deeper talk on the phone for hours type shit friendships. And you guys can obviously guess the reason. It's because like who do you have to talk to when it's just you in the house? Like when you have no siblings, like who? So we do treat our friends as family as well, which I guess is like 2 points, but we also treat our friends as family. So yeah, that was me. Like with friendships, I lately gave my all in friendships. Like I like friendships to be treated as like brother sister type love, you know, like you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. Next one I have, which you would think is kind of straightforward, but we actually do like to be alone. Like as much as you might hear your friend who's an only child complain or say things here and there about being an only child and being bored, we actually do like to be alone, and we're actually more comfortable being alone because we grew up that way. So when you grow up a certain way, you're just conditioned to be that way, and like you have no other alternative. It's not like our parents can just, you know, well, they can pop out another baby, but that option is not in your hands, right? So yeah, like we can just go to, especially me, I can just go to a movie theater by myself. I can go on a date by myself. We find comfortability in being alone. Solitude is number 1 to us only children. So yeah, so this one I got said to a lot when I was younger, and I never really understood until I got older. But people would call me an old soul, and I feel like that definitely stems back from me being an only child, because most of my interactions outside of school was with adults. So we tend to be a little bit more mature than our friends, and hence we don't really act our age, we act a little bit older. So yeah, I guess that's only children are old souls. Again, we don't really have people to talk to and hang around, except for adults. So yeah, this one is actually so funny. So everyone who is only children knows exactly why they're only children. My mom actually told me this like literally 8 months ago. Like she literally actually told me 8 months ago. And we all have that talk with our parents, and they always explain to us like, oh, why we're the only children. Mine is a little bit more personal to my mom, so I'm not gonna say it, but it always sounds like an apology. Like it's always like, oh, like I'm so sorry, like I didn't give you another sibling. That's what the talk feels like and sounds like, and it's actually just really funny. It feels like they're apologizing to us, and it's like, it's okay, boo, you don't gotta apologize. It is what it is at this point. It is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. And I feel like it's kind of sad that our parents have to apologize or feel the need to apologize, because again, at the time it was their life, you know, it is, you can't change it. But yeah, so us only children definitely have that talk. We all know why we're only children. We all know why, okay? The next point that I realized is that we are less likely to actually want children of our own, surprisingly. And that's because we didn't grow up alongside with a bunch of siblings. So when you didn't really grow up with a sibling or siblings, you're really not drawn to want to recreate those memories. This is not necessarily the case for me. I actually do want at least 2, 3 is kind of pushing it, but like 2 or 3 kids, because again, I kind of want for my kids what I didn't have, and I didn't really have, you know, I wanted a big sister. Like I wanted a big sister to annoy, to nag, to go to her school with, you know, stuff like that, and I didn't have that, unfortunately. But okay, I'm gonna have more than 1 child, that's what I'm saying, but it's not gonna be more than 2 or more than 3. That's it, okay? So yeah, so I know this one kind of relates to how I am in general, but I do know a lot of only children can probably relate to this. But it's that we grow up a little bit sensitive. Like we grow up a little bit sensitive, and reason being is because we didn't have siblings to like constantly pick on us. I was lucky enough to have a lot of cousins, okay? But again, most of the time I lived in a different country. I live in Canada. My cousins live in the US, so I didn't have cousins and brothers and sisters to constantly nag and pick on me. So when you get thrown into the world, you're just like, oh, that's rude. That's you're being rude right now, you know? So yeah, unless it's just me, unless it's just the Pisces in me. But we grew up a little sensitive, you know? I don't like sharing. Like I don't like sharing, and I don't want to share if I don't have to share. And it's because I grew up not having to share any of my shit with anybody. So why should I have to do it now? That's something I definitely had to learn, especially with my friends. But now it's just kind of second nature. Like I actually love sharing now. Like I like dibbling and dabbling in people's, like, especially like food. I don't mind sharing my stuff. I really don't. But growing up, I was more possessive, I guess, because I didn't have anyone to lend my things to, or I didn't have people who would just take my stuff. Sharing is one of those things that just had to come with time, but I don't mind sharing now. But growing up, you really don't like sharing. Yo, this one is so funny, and this is one I've got like all my life, even when I met my boyfriend's family. And it's the fact that when you tell people that you're only child, they look at you like you're in a motherfucking cult. Like they look at you like, wow, like your parents didn't give you a sibling. Like wow. Like you definitely get a variety of looks and responses when you tell people, and it's just funny. Like I like the response every time. Like I'm not bothered by it anymore, but it's just, actually I was never really bothered by it. It was just always funny. Like yes, like people who are only children are not weird. Like I don't understand. Like that does exist. Another thing I realized is that I saved my parents a lot of money. And I don't even think this is a realization, because my mom would tell me all the time, like, oh my god, like if I had 2 more kids, I'll be broke. So I know I definitely saved my mom a lot of money growing up, which is very, I guess, congratulations to you, Mom. I guess something else I realized is that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because, again, you are your parents' only focal point. So the only people you really have to impress is your parents. So you kind of really want to do well because you're like their trophy, like, you know, especially my mom. She's like, this is my daughter, like this is what she does, this is what she do, you know. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to be great, and I will be, and that's on period. I feel like people who are only children like things in a particular way, and it's because you always had like kind of a structured routine or structured life. You never had siblings that had to come and interfere with that. So especially for me, I like things particular, you know, when it comes to food, when it comes to like decor, when it comes to arranging things. I like things a particular way, and I think other only people can relate. Only people people who are only children can relate. I really don't know if this is gonna be a pros and cons video, because the more I'm saying stuff out loud, it really sounds sad, but it's not as sad as it sounds. But I think this one is the saddest point, and I think I'm gonna end the video here, is that I'm not gonna be no auntie or uncle. Like, that one actually breaks my heart. That one I think is the saddest point for me, because I do, again, the family that I do have, because I didn't grow up with siblings, I really love them. Like, I would ride or die for any of my siblings, any of my cousins, any of my aunts or uncles. I really do love my family. So the fact that I'm not gonna have someone that calls me aunt or calls me uncle or Auntie T, or like Auntie T is gonna take me here, it kind of does makes me really sad. It kind of really does break my heart. Again, I do have a half brother that I love and adore very much, but I don't think he is in a stage right now to want kids, and I think he's not gonna have kids for a very, very long time. So I feel like I am gonna miss out on that opportunity to just be called aunt or uncle, but it's okay, I guess. So when my cousins have kids, I really do love them, and just want to treat them as my own. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I will have a big family. This whole video is contradicting to me. Okay guys, so I am done my little rant or my talk. I really do like going into my car and talking to you guys, because when you realize that I don't live alone, but when you realize you like your alone time, you realize you can go the whole day without speaking to anyone and not saying your thoughts. So I do like coming on camera here and there and just saying what I have to say. Let me know if you guys are only children and you can relate to any of these points, or if you guys had friends or a close family that are only children and you saw this from, you know, a third person perspective. And yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.